What is going on, everyone? Welcome back. Today I'm going to do a graded card collection update. The last one I did was January 2022, I believe. I had about 20 graded cards in my collection back then. This is recording at the end of March, so it will be uploaded in April. So we're going to call this my April 2025 update. Back then in 2022, I only had like 20 graded cards. And as you'll see just behind me, I've got a heap of cards to show you. I'm going to go through all of those right now and see how many I've got in my collection. Maybe talk about some values, some pops, where I got the cards and stuff like that. So let's get into it. As we jump into the video, I will just note that I do have 5 cards that aren't pictured here. Those 5 cards are currently in the PWCC Fanatics vault overseas, so they won't be in this video, but I will just chuck them up on the screen, which are 3 Larvatars and 2 Arboks, all from the EX era. And you'll just see that I'm scanning across this now. So I do have in total 141 cards without those 5s that are listed here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump straight in. We're going to talk about some of these cards that I've got, and yeah, we'll see where we end up. Starting from the top, we have a whole heap of alt arts that I've got pictured here. So I basically try to separate out the alt arts from the other cards, just so you can see what I've currently got in the collection. If you've been following me long enough, you'll know that I'm almost finished grading the entire Sword and Shield alt art set in PSA 10 myself. So this is most of them here now. I think I'm at 68 of 75. I think I've got about 7 to go, which includes a couple of the Charizard promos. I had the VMAX here, which is already done, but I've got a few more of those to get. Stuff like the Espeon V I still need, and I think I still need the Leafeon V, which aren't pictured here. And then I've got a few more over on the side here. Giratina was one of my recent pickups. That one came back in a PSA 10, obviously. Well, not obvious, but obviously because it's here in the pile. There's a bit of celebrations here, which we'll get to in a moment. So yeah, this has been a 3-year journey in itself, actually trying to do the alt art set. So as you can see, I've got most of the big cards now. I think Giratina was pretty much the last big card that I needed for the set. You'll see Tyranitar, Umbreon, I've got a Jolteon V there. They're really hard to grade. I actually graded this one PSA 9 originally, then went back and regraded it because I thought it was too good not to get a 10. I might pull that out. We'll have a quick look at it. You can see that on the screen there. We've got Tyranitar. This is one of the first cards. That, along with the Dragonite, were the first 2 alt arts that I actually graded in a PSA 10. We've got Jolteon VMAX. I graded that one quite a long time ago when they were really cheap. What else have we got here? We've got the Rayquaza, which I bought off someone off Instagram quite a few years ago. Zufi, if he's still around. Blaziken, I picked that up in Brisbane back when it was probably about $300 raw. I'm not sure what they go for now. Rayquaza, that was from Mint Collectibles for about $180, $200. That's wild that I can remember all these prices. This Aerodactyl was actually a BGS 9 that I cracked out. I paid about $220 for that raw. Got the Rotom, the Flareon, that also came out of a collection box when it was cheap. The Gengar, I think I bought that at the start of January, around probably the start of 2024. So that one I think I probably paid somewhere in the 240 to 60 range from memory. One card that's really hard to find is the Galarian Rapidash. Trying to find one of those in a nice mint copy is really difficult. I picked that one up off eBay, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, plenty of cards here. Sylveon VMAX, I think that was from Kyber Collectibles off Instagram from memory. The Leafeon VMAX here was from Jolie Chambers on Instagram. So yeah, all in all, lots of crazy alt arts that I've collected. So I am going to jump into the next set of cards, which are the celebrations cards. So we'll jump to that. Before I do keep going, guys, I just want to mention that I am an affiliate with Palms Off Gaming. If you need a graded card case for all your graded cards, they offer these in the 20, 40, and the 60, which I've got here, the 60 grade card case. So you can fit a bunch of cards in there. Here's actually some other cards that I haven't pulled out, which I kind of not sure if I should be including those in my collection, but here's some stuff that I picked up a little while ago. Croconaw and a Chikorita grown for nothing in 9.5. So hopefully I can cross those to PSA 10s, and then I'll probably say they're in my collection. But for now, I'm keeping those out. So if you want to get 10% off Palms Off Gaming, you can use my affiliate code, which is Brodieplays 10. All the stuff is going to be in the bio of this video. They come in, I think, 7 different colors. I've currently got the black, the blue, and I will call that the sort of aqua color, maybe. Anyway, back to the video. Okay, so into the celebrations cards. So I think I've got 16 of the 25 from the Classic Collection subset. So from the top there, you can see I've got the Birthday Pikachu, Rockets Admin, the Magikarp, Rayquaza, Blastoise, Reshiram, Donphan, Mewtwo, Luxray, Mew, Venusaur, Xerneas, Garchomp, Charizard, Zekrom, and Gardevoir. I think Charizard is still the most expensive in the set. Oh, wait, I forgot one. We do have the Umbreon up here. So the Umbreon has become quite expensive since we've had a little bit of a boom at the end of 2024 into 2025. So again, this set I've actually self-graded all of these Celebrations cards, and I have always been planning to finish the subset, the Classic Collection subset, but I just haven't because the cost of grading has always been quite expensive, and the other cards I need to grade are really only the cheap ones. So there's been no real point in grading those at the moment. So full intention to finish that set eventually, and then finally I can tick off another PSA 10 set off. The next group of cards I'm going to look at are kind of like an assortment of everything else I own. So there's Tyranitar's, there's Dragonites, there's just random bits and pieces that I own in my collection, stuff that I like, card arts that I like. So I'm going to go through those a little bit slower just so you can get an idea of what I've got in here. And you'll see I've got a Celestial Storm Tyranitar in reverse holo. Pick that one up. This is in a PSA 9. You can see the reverse holo there. I really like that. It's actually based on the original Tyranitar artwork. I've got a Dragonair from Delta Species in the PSA 10. That's just a non-holo variant. I picked that up a few years ago. That was an overseas eBay purchase. We've got the Gouging Fire in a 10. The Glaceon VMAX Rainbow, I actually pulled that one myself back in the early days from Evolving Skies, just sitting at home, ripping packs. I've got the Pokemon Go Dragonite V in a 10. We have the Iron Crown, and you'll see I've got a few of the Temporal Forces cards in this pile here. So I do really like Temporal Forces, and I am trying to finish the SIRs in PSA 10. I just need the Iron Boulder, so I think all the 5 of the 6 should all be in here. We've got a Cumberland Dragon from MetaZoo. So this is probably like the only non-Pokemon card you'll see in here. So this is actually number 23 of 99. It's a really nice card. I just really like the Cumberland. Not a big MetaZoo person, but I really like the Cumberland Dragon. So it's a Topps card. It's got a nice foil pattern. I think there's like one PSA 10 and then there's about 5 PSA 9. So there's actually not many of them graded. I then got the Celestial Storm Holo Tyranitar in a 10. So unlike the other one, that was a reverse holo, this is the holo. I've then got a Tyranitar from Battle Styles in a 10. Iron Leaves from Temporal Forces. So that's one of the other ones I had that's in the Temporal Forces set. EV Games Charmander. I've then got my partner's Dragonite V from Evolving Skies. So I've got that one, and I do have mine over here. So I do own, or we own, 2 Dragonites together. We've got the Raging Bolt in a PSA 10. Really love that card. That's a cool card. I've got my partner's Blastoise again. There'll be a few. There's probably about 5 cards in here that are hers and not mine. The Mew, Bubble Mew in a PSA 10. One of my favorite artworks is the Shining Legends Totodile. It's the artist, if I'm pronouncing it correctly, is Tokia. It's just such a beautiful artwork in my opinion. I really love that Totodile, and it's reversal. I think it's about PSA 10 or PSA 10, Pop 10 or Pop 11, somewhere in that range. The Umbreon VMAX, this one, another one I pulled myself while we were traveling down in Victoria on a holiday a couple of years ago, so that's got a nice memory to it. This Larvitar is actually a Pop 1, so this is the only card I own that is a Pop 1. It's just a non-holo Larvitar from Fates Collide. Funny story behind that one, I actually picked it up. It was an eBay purchase. I did have a, what's it called, when you have a listing, like a save watch list listing. And I actually had this card on there because I wanted to get the reverse holo. There's 2 different Fates Collides Larvitars, and I actually wanted the other one, and this popped up. And I think it was like $15 posted or $20 posted. So super cheap. I ended up buying it, and what happened was the seller didn't put tracking on it, so I thought it had got lost. They ended up refunding me the full amount, and then it turned up probably a week later, and then they said, oh, don't worry about it, keep the money. So I basically got this Pop 1 for nothing, which is really, really funny, really cool. We've then got the Tyranitar from, that is Paldea Evolved in English, but I could not tell you what it is in Japanese. So that's, I think that's still Pop, the Pop's still lower than 100. Then got a Sylveon V from Shrouded, Sylveon V, just a Sylveon from Shrouded Fable in a PSA 10. It's still pretty low pop. I just like the artwork, so I graded one. Then got the Leafeon from Twilight Masquerade, which I also love. I'm probably going to try to get that one in the prismatic set in the Master Ball and the Pokeball. This Dragonite is also my partner's, so she's a bit of a fan of Dragonite as well, so she's got that one. I have a Dark Tyranitar. Probably paid about 100 for this one. Picked that up in 2024 roughly. I have a Swablu. These are really low pop. I think in context of other cards, it's below 200. Then I have one of my other favorites from Temporal Forces. We have the Totodile. So this is also in Prismatic Evolutions. So I'm going to try to get that in the Pokeball and Master Ball. It's pretty low pop. I think I was the first one to grade this card, so that's pretty cool. There's a few cards I've actually graded first, and I think I also graded the Dragonite from EB Games first. I'm pretty sure I graded the first two ever. I did end up selling the other one, but I've still got the first one. Going back to these guys, so the Venusaur is my partners. I have a Sandbox Pikachu. This one is sick. I really wish I'd picked up the Cramorant back in the day, but I only grabbed the Pikachu card. I really like this. I like the Pikachu Japanese promo cards. I should definitely try to collect some more of those. I think I paid around $250, $300 back when I purchased that. I'm trying to remember. Don't have the best memory now. I've got the ETB Charmander. So funnily enough, this Charmander was also purchased from the same person that I got the Giratina off, which is in my Alt-Art set. Now that's got a cool story in itself. That was a actually local pickup on eBay. You can pick up stuff on eBay if it's local. You can go drive there and get stuff. So I actually went and met the guy like that night. I saw it come up, I bought it, and then the next day I went over and met him. I grabbed it, and I was just like, I'll let you know if I get a 10 because I need it for my set, and it ended up getting a 10, so super happy with that. But yeah, those are both purchased off the same guy. This was still in the sealed, the cellophane you get it in, and that came back a PSA 10. Obviously, it's not the PC one, Pokemon Center ETB one, but yeah, still pretty cool. That's my partner's Charizard again. So we've got 2 Charizards, 2 Blastoise, and 2 Venusaurs from Celebrations. This one is really special to me. Oh, wrong one. This is the first edition Dragonite from Fossil in a PSA 9. Now this is actually my childhood card, this one. So crazy, it got a 9. I don't think it's a 9. It's got a few hollow scratches on it, and you might not be able to see, I might not be able to get it in the right light, but I do have one of my childhood cards slabbed up, and I do plan to get the other hollows from my childhood slabbed up this year. So that's the Dragonite. I've then got a Tyranitar from Pally Evolve. So it's the equivalent of this one, the Japanese one, but my English copy only came back an 8. It's got a few dings on the back. I think you can probably pick up a PSA 10 of this card for around like 100 to 150 maybe, somewhere in that range. I have just seen that they've got a new Tyranitar holo in, what's the new set that's just come out, or maybe it's Journey Together. It might be in that. And it's also a holo, and it's pretty cool as well, but I think this is probably my favorite one. I then have the pre-release staff card, Tatsugiri. You can see on the side there, it's got the staff embossed, which is really cool. I like Tatsugiri. It's a dragon type. It's literally a sushi. Very cool card. The pop on these is about 25. There's about 25 PSA 10s. Really love the artwork. Cool Pokemon, cool artwork. Had to get it. I see there's a staff Tyranitar actually in the new Destined Rival set, so I'm going to be trying to pick up the staff card for that, because that looks pretty cool. It's like a Team Rocket's Tyranitar, so I definitely want to try to get that one. Moving along, we then have the Leafeon from Crown Zenith. I pulled that one myself, along with a few other Crown Zenith cards, but I wanted to keep that. I do have a gold Giratina that I have to grade, which I pulled, so I want to add that to the collection. There's so many more cards I need to grade that I haven't graded yet. I then got the Dragonite from EB Games, so I did mention that this one was one of the first ones that were graded of that card. I'm trying to collect, like as a side quest, trying to grade all the EB Games promos in a PSA 10. I've definitely put that on the back burner. I haven't been as focused on trying to pick them up, but it does go with the Charmander there, and then you'll see the Umbreon there, which I'll talk about in a moment. I then have a PSA 8 first edition Lapras from Fossil. So this one is not mine that I pulled as a child. I actually got this when I got back in the hobby, and I think it's like the first box break I got into. This was before PSA was even, I think I had to send it through a middleman, and it would cost me a heap to get it graded. And this was like a really good education for me, because I didn't really know what grading was like and what grades different things got and how stuff was scored. So this was really good for me as an example of like learning what grading was all about. And so I learned a lot from actually grading this and getting it in an 8. I spent so much on it. So it's a keeper. These are actually maybe pop 100, pop 120, or maybe even less in a PSA 10. These are one of the most expensive fossil cards due to the holo being so light, so you can see all the scratches and stuff on them very easy. But this one's got some scratches. It's also got some issues with the back. It's a little off center, top to bottom as well. I then have the Tyranitar, which is the full art from the Paldea Evolved Japanese set. Couldn't even tell you what it is. I'm having a mental blank. I then have a Dratini from Delta Species. So this does go along with the Dragonair, which I have. It's there. So those two together in PSA 10. I then have the Walking Wake, another one from the Temporal Forces set. Then I have this massive boy in the Unseen Forces Tyranitar EX in a PSA 10. This is probably one of my more expensive cards in the entire collection. That, along with the Umbreon VMAX from Evolving Skies. I think the Umbreon's probably more expensive, but they're like the top 2 cards that I own. And then obviously the Giratina is an expensive one, and the Gengar, if I can see that, the Gengar over here. Those are probably some of the more expensive cards I currently own, but this is a really cool card. You know, you don't see these often. I think it's pop 45 in a PSA 10, you just don't see them around. Then got the Pikachu from the Radiant collection. So this is a pretty cool one. I picked this up at the end of 2023, and then I graded at the start of 24. Little did I know that this was like a 9% PSA 10 rate. So there's about 400 PSA 10s, but then there's like 4,000 graded overall. So really hard to grade in the 10. I picked it up for like $20, and I think they go for over 350 AUD. So crazy upmark. And I've kept it because it's just like stuff like that. I'm probably never going to go buy it again, and I've got such a low buying cost, $20 plus about 30 to grade it. And I got it in a 10. It's just, it's really cool, and probably not going to sell it unless I really needed to. I'd probably sell it obviously before I sold other stuff that's really important to me, but I'm keeping it. It's pretty cool artwork. I'm not a big Pikachu guy, but here we are. Then got the Umbreon from EB Games in the PSA 10. I have the Tyranitar from Darkness Ablaze in the PSA 10. This is just the regular holo. I then have the Pupitar from Dragon Frontiers. So this is in a PSA 10. I think I paid maybe 80-ish for this one. So that goes with the Larvitar that I flashed up at the start that was in my vault with PWCC Fanatics. The Tyranitar that's the PSA 10 copy that goes with these two is super expensive, really low pop. You'd be talking $4,000 or $5,000+ to get the Tyranitar that goes with these. So maybe one day. Maybe one day. Then the Mega Sableye and Tyranitar GX in the PSA 10. So actually, this one's a Mitsuhiro Rita artwork. You can tell straight away by the art style. This I picked up again in 2023 from Mint Collectibles when we were at the collector's market. I picked up 2 copies of Isaac, so shout out to Isaac if you're watching. I didn't grade those until the end of 2024, so a whole year later I actually decided to grade them. One got a 10, one got a 9, so I've sold the 9 and kept the 10 for my Tyranitar collection. Then have the Tyranitar from Delta Species. One of my favorite Tyranitars is the Delta Species Tyranitar. Delta Species has been doing some crazy stuff lately in terms of prices, but this card, you can see the holo, how it changes as you move it around. And I just love that it's like a fire type as well. It's so different to what you'd normally expect with cards. So to get, anything in EX era, I'm a really big fan of, but this is one of my favorites. I'll eventually get the Dragonite. And probably, do I have the, I've got the Delta Species Larvitar that's in my locker. Oh, the Pupitar. Yeah, so the Pupitar that goes along with this, I know the Rev Holo is like super expensive, pretty low pop, and hard to get. I've then got a, what they call a Fumi Toshi prepaid card. This is released in Japan. It's 1998. And it's got the Dragonite and Pikachu on there. I also have one of these in the BGS 10, which I'll show you the BGS slabs in a second. Very cool card. I think I was also the first one to grade this over from BGS to PSA, because they didn't actually grade them for the longest time. So that's the back of the card. Comes with this Pikachu, which I'll show you in a second, in this cool little folder. But these are all my BGS cards. So people might, if they haven't been following me for a long time, might not know that I actually graded these back in the day. So that one aside, but these three I actually graded all at the same time. They all came back in a BGS 10. So the Mew from Celebrations, the Umbreon from Celebrations, and this Pikachu, which is also a Fumi card, which goes with the Dragonite. So I've got those two here. So they come within this little fold-out leaflet like this. And yeah, I ended up grading. These ones that one I graded. This one, did I grade this one? I ended up like buying one of these. I think this one was in the BGS 10. Cracked it out, graded it with PSA. But these are the copies that I sent to get graded. And yeah, that got a BGS 10 gold. This got the BGS 10 black, so the Pikachu there. And the Mew and the Umbreon, which is sick. Anyway guys, that's the video for today. So 141 cards later, 3 years of collecting, and yeah, a whole bunch of Pokemon cards and plastic. Again, if you wanted to get 10% off at Palms Off Gaming, use my affiliate link. I'll drop it in the comments below and chuck it up on the screen here. I hope you enjoyed this one. If you have any questions about my graded card collection, let me know in the comments below, and I'll catch you all next time. Thanks, bye.